Welcome back, Not From Boston fans. As always, I'm your host, Bennett Weinschenk. We have a familiar guest. Harry's back for an episode. We're going to talk about all things Sox and how frustrating this season's been. And it's going to be really nice. But that's not all we have this week. I also sit down with Melissa Myer, the host of Talk Dodgers to Me, and we have a lovely conversation about baseball and fandom and what it means to love the sport of baseball. So I hope you stick around for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. As always, you can find us on Instagram at NotFromBostonPod. We're also on Substack, notfromboston.substack.com. You can listen to us where you get your podcasts, either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. And finally, we're on Patreon, patreon.com/notfromboston. Now, I'm going to stop talking, and then I'm going to start talking again, but this time with Harry and Melissa Myer. Hope you enjoy. Dude, welcome back. I gotta say, you leave and everything goes to shit.
I know, dude. I was like the lucky charm last year, bro.
Yeah.
It's been a rough go. It's been a rough go.
Oh my God, yeah. We're currently recording this on Wednesday. The Red Sox are beating the Twins 9-1. This is such a weird fucking team. And I am not having a good time.
Yeah, it's been not super fun. I've been watching every game. My voice is very tired right now. If I sound a little crispy, that's why. Yeah, I've been watching every game. There's a few things that I think we can both pick out that we feel like are going great, and there's 85% of the things that are not going well. Particularly, I guess we should just jump into it. But yeah, thanks for having me back. It's great to be back on the show.
Of course. Yeah, I don't know, with the Twins, with this series in particular, I'm writing it off because I don't know what the fuck happened to Garrett Crochet in game one. I don't know if he got possessed by one of those alien creatures from Space Jam, but like that was weird. And so I'm like, okay, I guess that game is an unusual thing that happens. It's not like the whole team fell apart. It's just like one guy fell apart.
Yeah, and also I knew going into this series, there's always a team at the beginning of the year that's red hot that nobody expects. And it's the Twins right now. They're going to be 11-8 because we're up 9-1 right now. But
yeah,
they're going to be 11-8. They've been very solid. They've hit the ball really well, which is surprising because their lineup, besides Byron Buxton, looks like a bunch of dudes that should be in Double-A. But I think they have James Outman on their team too.
Yeah.
Like they have a couple decent dudes, but they're a hot team right now. We've run into the Angels when they're hot and they end up being a shitty team. Like it happens. I think the frustrating thing at the moment is we're living and dying on run prevention as an identity, and we're not preventing runs. We've had one go around the rotation where all 5 starters were solid, gave up at a minimum a quality start. And that's what we were sold in the offseason as our identity, which I think we've discussed, but like that was most likely a reaction to not getting Bregman. I think they thought they had that in the bag and he wanted his no trade clause, and they were like, all right, well, fuck it. We're going to just go get pitching, and that's going to be what we're built on. And the pitching isn't really working. So I don't know.
I really don't know. Go ahead.
No, that's pretty much it, man. I'm just venting frustration. It's not been, and we did, to be fair, we started 1-5, 2-6 last year. So it's not like this is like, fuck it, the season's, it's too early, but the games matter now. The games matter now.
This roster is it's so weirdly like cobbled together, like Frankenstein. Like to me, I'm like, okay, cool. We're doing the run prevention thing. And I think I've heard this from other people too. It's like, we're doing the run prevention thing, but we're not putting our best defense behind our pitchers. Like, I'm sorry, Trevor Story should not be playing shortstop.
Not anymore. Not
like
anymore.
the best game of this season was where he was DHing. Like, Um, Wasting those games where he was the two-hole hitter, that was also stupid. Um, he's chasing every pitch.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think like why I understand the concern about Marcelo's health, but like why he's not currently our starting shortstop and
Yeah, I
he's
don't know.
or like platooned with IKF, uh, it kind of escapes like it escapes me. It truly does. Like there's I think also Duran at DH is a mistake.
I agree,
Um,
dude. We got to talk about Roman because like the
I think he's finding it. I think he's finding it now. Like
the
this series, I
defense
think he's
is
been kind of
bizarre.
putting, yeah,
The defense is bizarre. Like I don't.
yeah,
That's
that
not
noodle arm.
something that. That's not something that like was a thing.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
not like, oh man, everybody knows he can't really throw. Like it's like, what the fuck is going on? He's throwing
yeah,
six bouncers to the plate from shallow left. I mean, it's and I think like that. I gotta chalk that up to a mental thing, right? Don't
100%.
because here's the thing. This guy is 21, and I do think this is just a fundamental failure of the upper management of the organization. Everybody knows Bregman's worth was his. I mean, obviously he's a good player, but his
Yeah,
off the field worth was just as high, if not higher, than his production on the field. His leadership mentality, his sort of mentorship of these younger guys. I think Roman feels like, okay, there's no more Devers, there's no more Bregman. I have to be the guy. Everybody's expecting me to hit 30 homers and to hit 315.
hmm
I got to be the guy. And Duran's not in the left anymore. It's a lot of pressure to put on this kid, and he's fucking
yeah,
21, dude. Do you know how much stress I had? Like as a 21-year-old, I couldn't have handled that shit.
yeah. And he just got done playing with Aaron Judge. Like, uh, I think, and that I think only elevated his like stardom more because the whole world saw him
Right.
playing with like the best players in baseball and having Aaron Judge like say nice things about him like it's like I think everyone was like buying in on Roman and I think like that is yeah such an immense amount of pressure for
It's a
him.
it's a lot. And I
Yeah,
don't
so
think that like I don't think this is gonna last forever, but I think that we see this a lot with young teams. Like the first five, maybe 3 years of the Dodgers being good. When was their first? I think 15 was their first playoff appearance, kind of post.
I
Oh
want
no,
to
they were in the play. They were in the playoffs in like 13, and I remember the Wanya
yeah,
Reed. But this new core was like 14, 15, 16, and then they went to the World Series in 17. Obviously, didn't win. They lost the World Series. Like they had a lot of close but no cigar sort of
yeah,
moments. There were a lot of youthful fuck ups, I think, with that Dodgers team. It took
yeah,
them a while to settle in. It took, Seager obviously was a fantastic player right away, but I think it took that team a while to gel. They were such a young team, and we are a young team. I know we have a few veterans, but we got to be one of the five youngest average, right? I would think.
I think Story, Contreras, and Yoshida and
Balance.
Gray probably counter the youthful like I think the like median age is probably very young, but I think the average is probably like pretty normal looking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how old is Massa?
it's kind of it
32,
is
yeah.
crazy to think that the Dodgers have been in the playoffs every year since 2013,
Fucking
and
crazy.
like it feels like it's been the same team, but I'm like realizing like nobody on the 13 team is on the 2026 team, obviously.
No, Matt Kemp, James
Yeah,
Loney, Juan Uribe, they had like Russell Martin. Yeah, it's very different.
yeah,
So anyway, I mean, obviously they're a very well run organization. Say what
yeah,
you will, the financial comings and goings with them, but I think that placing your stock on starting pitching and one 21-year-old is not a good idea. That's just like what
yeah.
I'm seeing. So anyway,
I mean, yeah, no, I think you're totally right. It's like very eh, the patterns I think have very like quickly emerged with this team where it's like if the starter doesn't go 6 innings, if the
they're
Red Sox
cooked.
don't score first, they lose. And it's
Right.
like those are two very hard things to do. Like you're asking for a lot and you're asking
Right.
getting both of those things done to win a ball game. Uh so like it's yeah, I think it's not sustainable. I have to imagine that at some point um like I mean I truly the roster just has to be kind of cleared out. Like it has to not cleared out. That means, but I mean like the clog has to be on. It has to be unclogged.
Yes.
Um, and it just so that not just so that these like guys get regular playing time, but also so that these guys like know that they have a job. Like they're
Yes.
like five outfielders are operating under except for like Abreu and Roman, like are operating under the assumption that like I could get traded. Even Sadan's like could probably get traded. And it's like that's a lot to have on your mind trying to play this game. Like it
Yeah.
would yeah, it would behoove the Red Sox to move a guy, but like they won't do it because I think they're I mean, it's like they're counting on an injury now. Like I don't yeah.
I think that like there's a we've talked about this so much in episodes past and in the past season, but there's so much oh thank you. I'm having some tea brought to me because my voice is very tired. My wife, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Um there is so much wait, I've lost my train of thought. I was saying we live in this like analytic robotic world. I think Breslow is like, the paradigm of what Major League Baseball is becoming at the moment. There's a lot of GMs in the fucking, Craig Breslow school of thought here. And I think I was talking to someone about this recently who's a baseball fan that I work with. The human element, not from a performance perspective, but from a anxiety and can you perform under pressure, and some guys just have that Kobe gene in them where they want the fucking at bat in the ninth inning. Like we're not taking any of that stuff into account. And what you just said, I've been thinking about for the last couple of weeks, which is like these guys don't feel like they have any job security to the point of, yes, we traded Rafael Devers. I know Devers was a bit of an issue, but like there wasn't, if that guy didn't have job security, like that's crazy. Alex Bregman, I
Yeah.
think everybody and their grandma thought he was going to be back for a 5, 6 year deal. Like it doesn't feel like the upper management slash ownership views these players as anything other than numbers. And I do think that has an impact on the field.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of this like asset management going on here. And yeah, it's like it is like something that I think is really pervasive because I think a lot of people like I think the majority of like what we see online are the fans who like are into the analytical shit, but I they do not represent the majority of sports fans, like baseball fans, period.
Yeah.
I think a lot of baseball fans are like I think on our wavelength where it's like I don't really care if like your algorithm like tells you that this is the way to maximize this team. Like put put Jaron Duran like on the field, or put like you know fucking whoever wherever. But I don't know. It's how the Red Sox get out of this mess because like what they need is like unfortunately what they need is to get hot and like go on a streak, and that just like that doesn't just happen. Like that takes like if that happens, it takes a lot of time, and it's really hard to do. And I just you know I think this team is so streaky that I'm like I don't know if I can count on you to like offensively be on for five games in a row.
Yeah. 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 I don't know. It's a weird construction, man. I don't
Holy shit!
yeah, I know. That's
It
that's
is
why I
now
was
9-5.
that's why I was being silent. I was a couple minutes ahead of you. I didn't want to,
Why
yeah.
are you always a couple minutes ahead of me? That's so fucking weird. Dude,
Yeah.
if this, I swear to
Minnesota
fucking
just hit a
God.
3-run home run. We were up 9-1. They hit an RBI single, 9-2, and now it's a 3-run homer.
Yeah,
So,
9-5. Jesus. Also, like, why is Ryan Watson? He's got
yeah,
the most
man.
innings of our guys in the pen. What are we doing? This guy's gonna, his arm's gonna fall off.
They got to put Weissert in or something. I don't know. I mean, this is
Mm.
just.
Weisert's also been rough. Like, it's like everything, something funky, I think, must have happened at camp because they all came into this season just like off.
Dude,
Like,
which is weird because all of them were fucking studs in the WBC.
yeah. Well, I think
The
part
Red
of that
Sox
is
had the
also
best
like,
WBC out of anybody.
well, I think like that also might have been playing a part, like the fatigue there, and then, but like, yeah, I just like I think there's something up in that clubhouse. Like I do think that there's a like they're not like a unit yet, and it's weird because I think if despite how rough 2025 felt like at times, like they felt like a unit. Like it felt like that was a cohesive clubhouse with like an outlier, I guess, endeavors, although that probably isn't true anyway.
Yeah.
Like this feels like a really disconnected roster right now. And I think I feel like something catastrophic would have to happen for Breslow to make moves before the deadline to like fix it. But like, dude,
Yeah, the thing is, I feel like this is my opinion looking at the product we're seeing on the field. We're gonna have like a sneaky little win streak. We'll fire out. I was happy that we, took the series from the Brewers, especially with all the like Contreras stuff, which we should talk about. I'm sure you
mm,
covered it already. That was like a very interesting. I'm sort of two minds about that, but I was really glad we excuse me, my voice is so hoarse today. I'm really glad that we took that series. We took a series in St. Louis, which is a historical baseball town, so that's always just good to go there and get a win. We had some good offense in those series, but we're going to fire off a streak of like 3 or 4 series wins in a row. And everyone's going to be like, "Oh, thank God, we're good, we're good, we're good." And I actually think it's going to be very much a similar story to last season, where maybe we'll get a favorable draw in the wild card playoff round, and then we're not going any further than that. This does not yell very good baseball team to me. It yells playoff team, which I feel like is what the ownership wants. It's a profit and sustainability thing, which we know. I think
yeah,
anyway. That's what I'm looking at the product on the field, and so to respond to what you just said, I don't think the unfortunate thing is I don't think anything catastrophic will happen. I don't think we're going to get to a place where we're like 9-25. Like that's not going to happen. I think we're going to sneak together a few wins and everyone will be like, "Okay, look, the ownership will be like, "Look, it worked. Our plan worked. It's great. The team's good now." And it's just going to be kind of like the same thing as last year. And that's
yeah.
in my opinion not good enough.
Well, yeah, they're gonna say like we've been good, and it's gonna be like 89 wins again,
Yeah,
and
if they
like
win
that's
90, dude, they're going to treat 90 wins like it's like going to the World Series. Like it's like, no,
yeah,
I want to win 96 games. I want to win the division. I want to, or at least not have to play in that wild card round.
yeah. I
Which
mean, it's
is
just
anyway. Yeah.
I don't know. It's also like how we have been spending money. Like I don't know. The Red Sox. I think. I mean, more than anything, I think like their pitching just like needs to feel comfortable with the offense that it has in order to like be able to go. Like I think they're under like I think everybody's under so much pressure to do something that like but I just think, what is like I like what happens if and when, honestly, I think it's more of a when than an if. Like what happens when Christian Campbell figures his shit out?
Dude, I was just thinking about him like maybe it was yesterday. I was like, what the fuck is going on with him? Because like there's so much potential for him to be, he's sort of a low floor player. Like
Yeah.
he's not going to be, and the Red Sox win the game. All right, that is good
Oh,
news.
thank God.
He's not going to be a superstar, but yeah, you're right. What happens if he becomes a 270 hitter who can swing it for 20 bombs? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of weird log jams in this team. And also, I still don't know what his real best position is, like corner outfield. Like,
Right. I mean, that's also like deeply unfortunate because it's like I mean, would I don't know. Yeah, it's like it's just the roster, like wherever you go, like there is just a problem. I mean, truthfully, actually in that case, I think like you it's gonna sound crazy, but like you move Marcelo to third and you put Durbin on the bench and you
yeah,
do either Rafaela or Campbell at second. I mean,
yeah. I don't love Rafael. I'm only hesitating. I still, we both agree on this. I don't love Rafael at second because he's so, dude, that catch he made in center where he fell forward, was that 2 days ago?
yeah.
My God, I could
But
not
like
believe.
leave it to Craig Breslow though to construct a roster where the best defensive position, like you
And
get the
not
best
accept.
defensive value out of your Gold Glove center fielder at second base. Like that's how
Yeah,
broken this team is.
I know, and even Durbin, like again, that just sort of felt like no, I never want to dig at these players because they do something that we all
Yeah.
wish we could do at a level that we wish we could do it at, and they do it every day, and they're all good, right? Like it's not like these guys are shit. But that was again sold as like he got third in rookie of the year, and but I'm like, he's not an upgrade in any way. He's
Yeah.
just like a singles hitter. He's kind of like Luis Ariz, but he strikes out more. So like I don't know, and he's not like a crazy good defender. Maybe, but then there's the issue that we brought up earlier of like Story is not a good shortstop, dude. Not anymore. So you can't really put like what do we do if we put Myer at third? I don't want Story to be the shortstop by the end of the year, personally.
Yeah.
That's just like my own taste. The eye test is not passing.
Yeah. I mean the fact of the matter is like Stories uh well, he does seem to struggle with like fielding the ball cleanly every once in a while, but like his thing, he's just making really bad throws. And
Yeah,
it's like
hard.
if you were going to keep him on the
Hard
field, like
elbow.
put him in the position where he's making the shortest throw possible, which is second base.
Hmm.
Uh, like I think that Cello at short makes sense. Platoon third, like honestly, because you have Monasterio, who I think you know I haven't seen enough of him to really like make a formal like strong opinion, but like platoon him and Durbin. I also don't know, like, this is also another thing, and then, again, speaks to, like, how stupid our roster is. What, like, Nick Sogard and Nate Eaton are just sitting in AAA.
Bro, and they're fucking good. Those
They're
guys,
good as shit. Like,
yeah.
it's, yeah. I truthfully, like, at this point, I don't, like, it's like, just, just DFA Yoshida. Like, please,
Dude,
just eat the
what's
money and
so crazy
DFA
though,
him.
what's crazy is like he's like one of the best hitters at the moment.
I know, but he can't, like, if we refuse to, like, play him every day, which like I'm like you can't because there are just too many other regular like starters on this team. Like he's just eating space. That would be really really helpful to like fill with Sogard or Eaton or at some point maybe Campbell, uh, depending. But like it's so messy, and I like I give Alex Cora like a bit of like grace because I'm like, dude, I can't imagine what those meetings are like where you're sitting in your office with your coaches and you're just banging your head on the table, just like I don't know how to fucking put 18 guys on a field, man.
I also
Like,
don't think he is legitimately doing the best that he can, and I don't think he has as much control as we think that he has. You know what I mean? Like we
yeah,
know that case, but
yeah,
yeah, I agree with you. I think Yoshida should be DFA'd. I also feel like right now, vis-a-vis Nate Eaton and Nick Sogard, actually not even right now. I'm a believer because, as I always have said, games in April and May matter
hmm
just as much as games in September. I don't give a fuck when the game is on the calendar. If it's a major league game against a major league team, it counts toward your record. Bring the best guys up and put them in the lineup. Like you know what? They're like, oh well, we spent all this money XYZ. Like, do you want to win games or are you just interested in like making people feel good about their contracts? Because Nate
yeah,
Eaton also had a crazy good fucking World Baseball Classic. He took Scooble deep. Like he was
yeah,
fucking three off Scooble.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot like it's like should Peyton totally be up here? I mean, we have a lot of lefties up here currently, but like maybe I don't know.
Maybe
It's the pitching. I think like I'm like a less worried about because
it'll come
uh,
good.
ultimately, like whether they allow a ton of runs or don't allow a ton of runs, we're still going to lose games because we don't score enough runs. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Like
Yes.
there has to be like a bat that is like sustainable in that lineup that like
Well,
everyone else can kind
there
of
is.
build around.
There is one bat, and you get all the credit in the world.
Oh,
Wilson
I mean,
Contreras. He's a
yeah,
good player, and he's not going to hit 30 bombs, but he's going to hit. I
yeah,
genuinely look at him, and I'm like, he know as a former catcher slash could potentially still catch at some point. He clearly knows the strike zone. I love. He's done it twice this season. He does the ABS and he just walks to first base like he knows it's a ball. I love that he knows the strike zone. He swings at pretty good pitches. I've seen him chase a little bit, but he's not like Story. He
mhm,
swings at good pitches. and he's a you know the doubles, man. I love the doubles. He's a doubles threat every time. So
Yeah.
to me, it's like I would be hitting him second or third. I know he's slow, but like we don't actually have enough guys on base for him to make an impact when he's at the plate at fourth or fifth. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
I would move him up.
I mean, I right now I'm worried about him because he missed today's game because of his lower back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just hoping that that doesn't turn into an IL stint because that's a big loss for the team if he's out for
So
that
make it
long.
offensive output.
I think honestly, I know that it's so counterintuitive to like how baseball teams like operate these days. I think your top three are like Roman, Wilyer, Wilson.
Yeah.
Like I know it's like lefty lefty back to back, but Willier's your best hitter right now, and I still think Roman can make the leadoff spot work. And like it's like that traditional line of thinking, you know, when you like how you used to build a lineup where it's like your third guy is your guy who can drive in the most runs, and it's like, well, Abreu and Anthony can get on base quite
Yeah.
often, and Willier can and Wilson can drive them in. Like that
That's
just
what I'm
makes
saying. Move him up. Get the two guys that are gonna get on base and put. There's this
yeah.
weird, like, I don't know. A lot of the modern baseball stuff. I'm just curious a matter of opinion. How do you feel about the second hitter being the best hitter typically in a lineup?
I mean, I think that like I think to me like that is I that makes sense to me, but like I will what I'll qualify it as being is like because I know where you're going with this. Like in a like if we take like an old Red Sox lineup, for example, like from like the 20 like '07 or '08, where it's like Ellsbury, Pedroia, Ortiz, Manny.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, Manny is like the best overall hitter on that team, but like he's hitting fourth because he has that pop to go behind Ortiz. Pedroia's in that spot because he's the best all around like player. Like he can hit and he can run.
Yes.
Um, and like I think his value might be a little higher there in that respect. So like I think I think number two hole I would say is your most complete player,
Okay.
your most complete hitter.
Yeah. Yeah, because you want someone also. I mean, this is sort of piggybacks on where I was going with this, but like I agree with you. But then isn't it weird that like we had Rafael Devers hitting two last year, which I feel
Yeah,
like as a complete player, actually Devers is kind of a slug machine. He's not a consistent on base guy, and he's slow. I
yeah.
want
I
my
mean,
team to steal bases. You know,
yeah. I think Devers liked being in the two hole.
he
I
clearly
don't.
liked it a very specific way. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Also, I think it's really funny because I've seen Giants fans online be like, "Why is Devers not hitting?" And I'm like, "Because he moved from the most hitter-friendly ballpark to the least hitter-friendly ballpark."
I was actually just about when I excuse me brought his name up. I was just about to look up his stats.
Like, the
Because
only
I had
reason anyone ever hit in that ballpark is because they were juicing. Like,
yeah.
so yeah, of
Right.
course Devers isn't playing well in San Francisco. Like, I don't.
He's not only is he not hitting, I mean, he's not only not hitting home runs, he's hitting like 200. Like he's
I mean,
just
that
not
whole
hitting.
team is a mess. Um,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I don't think that's Tony Vitello's fault, but that's a different conversation.
yeah. Um, I don't know. It's so weird though. It's just like out of the gates, I really thought I guess I'd say I really thought I was gonna say I really thought we'd be a lot better, but I genuinely don't know if I did because we said it when we were doing the episodes in the off season. Like we traded very productive middle of the order offense for like, you know, I think Ranger has been bad, but is an upgrade on Giolito. Sonny Gray is kind of the same as Giolito. Like we got one extra starter, which is great.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I think both of those guys will be better in
yeah,
the
in the long
long run.
Giolito was good last year, which by the way, he
Yeah,
still does not have a team, if I'm not mistaken.
which is like also stupid,
That's absurd. He was
just
excellent
very
last year.
stupid. Yeah,
Yeah, he doesn't. He's a free agent still. How is that possible?
I don't. That feels like sketchy to me. Yeah, I think to me, it's like okay, if we want to give this team the best shot of like turning it around, it's like Duran in center, Marcelo at short, Sadan at second, Story at DH, and just like you leave everybody there and you don't and like let them play like 2 weeks and get comfy. Like that's this whole like shuffleboard shit is just driving me crazy.
Do you think that story will remain at short by the end of the year? I think he probably will, but I like, what do you think will happen versus what do you want to happen?
Yeah, I think right now I'm like leaning toward that he will still be a short, and it'll be really annoying. But right now
Yeah.
I don't have confidence in the Sox to like do the right thing.
Dude,
Uh,
why is he still swinging at pitches that never start on the plate? Like for like the entirety of, I don't know if it was like this in Colorado, because candidly, I don't watch very much Rockies baseball, but like he swings at sliders away that never cross the plate. Like they're never
yeah,
close to in the zone. I'm like, I get swinging at a bad one every now and again, but it's like an automatic K when he's down 0-2 because I'm like, all right, here comes the slider away.
yeah. I mean, you go look at his baseball savant, like his swing take profile is like from
It's
last year is similar to this year, but this year it's way worse. Like that outside like
it's
lower
like every
corner,
time.
he's just whiffing. Uh, yeah, I don't know what like it is. Yeah, it's like funny because it's like it is a at this point predictable because it's like, hey man, 2 strikes. Next pitch is going to be not even remotely close to plate. Just don't swing, and then he
Yeah,
just swings out of his shoes.
yeah, it's really frustrating. And I think he got, we look at last season as like this big season for him, but I don't know. I don't value home runs in at the expense of quality at bats and quality
Mhm.
hitting. And I think, I love OPS, and like his on base percentage part of that was extremely low, which is why he
Yeah,
didn't crack 100 last year. And I think right now, what I'm seeing from our team is we don't have that many runners in scoring position. It's not even that. Last year, I think we were failing to bring in runners in scoring position. This year, to me, in key aspects of the game, I'm like, or sorry, key moments of the game, I'm like, we genuinely do not have any runners in scoring position. We barely have guys on second base.
yeah. I mean, and when we do, we don't do anything
We
with
bring
them.
them in, but like, how do you even get
Yeah,
practice bringing guys in when it happens? What, like twice a game? Like, it's like
yeah,
fucking hell, dude. We were
yeah.
living
I
on hoopers.
Right. I just hope that with this like twin series, because I do think, also like going back to Monday, which was a shit show for Crochet, like that game ended up being 11-6, which is like not a good score, but like the fact that
But
we
we
were
came
able to
back to
claw our way to that is
yes,
significant. And like I think Duran is like picking up steam. He's hit now his second bomb, I think, today.
yes.
Like I think Roman's putting it together, and it's just like if you guys can put it all together and like keep it together, then like maybe we run and do a long enough run that we can actually like create a little cushion for ourselves. But it's a lot of ifs, and it just doesn't also solve like eventually like we are going to have to figure out this log jam in this roster because we aren't gonna. I don't think we get to the playoffs with this roster as it is.
No, I don't think so. And I do think there will be some kind of July movement. But yeah, I agree. And I do think you're right. Roman is picking it up. Red Sox fans are funny because like online, on Twitter and stuff, it's like hard to get it's hard to be in those spaces sometimes because like I've seen Boston fans online like, dude, this guy fucking sucks. I'm like, dude, it's been like 3 weeks. Can you calm down? Like,
Yeah.
I texted you about maybe moving him off the leadoff spot more as a confidence booster, like maybe
Mhm.
get him in at third with dudes on base so he can drive in some runs and get his confidence back. But like, he doesn't suck. Like there's crazy
Yeah.
people seeing shit like that. But I also think that's the hard thing about playing in Boston is like that comes with a lot of extra pressure. The fans have very high expectations, and we haven't won since 2018, and we haven't been to a World Series since then. So,
Yeah. I mean,
um,
I've been thinking about it since the fans, and I'm curious about your take on this generally. Like, since the game against Milwaukee, where they were chanting "Sell the team," I've been thinking
mm,
about this a lot. Where I'm like, it's really interesting. Like, I, Red Sox fans we are like so devoted to our team that like you know when even when ownership is like we think fucking it all up, like we're like, they. I guess my point being the like we love the team so much that even when they are driving us crazy and are sucking, we can't remove ourselves. Like Red Sox fans will
No,
just always
we're in.
we're always always going to go to games, always going to watch it on TV, and it's like we completely remove any power that we have to ownership, which we have very little anyway. But I think that's just like really funny that ownership at this point is like, yeah, we can do whatever we want, and we know you'll still show up, and it's like this. It's so
Yeah,
fucking frustrating.
it's a weird thing to be. It's such a blessing first and foremost to support a team that has like that type of following, right? And the other team that I love is Arsenal, the soccer team, and they have the same thing. Like Arsenal fans have been through hell in the same way that Red Sox fans went through and are currently going through hell. Where they haven't won shit in 20 years. They just like keep getting second place in the league. And the fans are always going to go. It's always going to be sold out. And in the same way, like the Arsenal ownership has recently started spending more money, but for about 20 years, they were just like, who gives a fuck? Like it's all about making money. I think what is going to have to happen if this continues, and I mean, dude, the expectation, like the bar has to be higher than making the playoffs. Making the playoffs is not an acceptable bar anymore. We broke that last year. Great, we made the playoffs. We're back. If we go to the playoffs every fucking year and we get out in the first round, then what the fuck? Like that's a waste, you know? It's like you're not doing shit.
Yeah.
What happened at Arsenal is people stopped buying jerseys. There was like a huge, there's a big online fan community of Arsenal fans, and they genuinely were like boycotting buying the kits. They were just like, we're not going to buy the jerseys because fuck these guys. And it took the wallet getting hurt for the ownership to change it up. I don't know if that's going to do it with John Henry, but I think we have literally the highest ticket prices in baseball. Am I not mistaken?
We do in fact have the highest ticket prices.
And we have a team that's, what are we now after today? 6-7
and 11.
7-11. Oh, nice, tight.
Nice.
7,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So it might have to take. I'm not gonna buy that jersey, but you're right, because it's like, who am I kidding, dude? If I'm in Boston, I'm going to a fucking game. I'm gonna buy the jersey. If they do another City Connect, I'm gonna buy it. Like, who am I kidding?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I think that's an interesting point. Because in the same front, you could look at the Pittsburgh Pirates, who like their ownership doesn't do jack shit. I guess they kind of have this year, but like their fans don't give a toss either way. Like they're just not going to go to the games, and it doesn't impact their decision making either. So
yeah,
I don't know.
But like if the Pirates got good again, the Pittsburgh would show up. I think like they've kind of, it's been, I think Pittsburgh is like where Boston could be in like 15 years if Henry, like if they continue this like thing.
Yeah, Pittsburgh also has a huge prospect right now, which is, and they have Skeens, obviously. Like that's bringing people in. So
yeah,
anyway, I don't know. It might take some crazy shit like that.
Yeah, I'm also thinking about like, Cora's contract is up after next year, and I mean next year obviously is like a question mark because of the CBA or whatever. But then like Dombrowski was around for 4 years, Heim was around for 4 years. And then this is year 3 of Breslow. So I'm like, we are, if patterns are consistent, we are on our way to a change, another change. And I'm like,
yes,
I think if this team continues to suck, like if we have a losing record in August, who gets fired first?
I mean, unfortunately, probably Cora. It shouldn't be.
Yeah, because
what do I want to happen? It's if we have a losing record in August, this is very clearly not even a Breslow problem. It's a philosophy of baseball problem because Heimblum and Breslow they're distant cousins. You know what I mean? Like Dombrowski was like a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I forgot to text you this, but I went to a buddy's birthday party on Saturday, and I met a dude at the party, and he is from Boston. We were talking about, I'm like, oh, I'm a huge Red Sox fan, and we were talking about the Red Sox, and he's like, oh, I used to work for the Red Sox for like 10 years. I just moved out here and like quit the job. And he told me he worked under Dombrowski, Bloom, and Breslow. He's worked under all three.
Doing what?
I don't know exactly. He was pretty drunk, admittedly. So like I was kind of trying to get the answer, but something in the like analytic number
Mhm.
crunching department. I think he's a math guy.
Okay.
But what he told me, he's a real baseball fan. He's not just like a, well, the stats say this. Like he's like, I played varsity baseball. I love baseball. So he said, and I'm not surprised, working under Dave Dombrowski was the most fun he ever had at any job. He's a little bit older
Yeah.
than us. That's the most fun I've ever had. He's like, dude, the news we would get in our chats and our work chats, like, holy shit, we're getting JD Martinez. Like, it was like so exciting. And he was like, it has been so dead and dull. Like working inside that place is like a fucking cave ever since Dombrowski left.
Hmm.
So I think, obviously that plays that has no sway over what I'm about to say, but I just thought that was interesting. I think genuinely at this point, if we are not in the playoffs this year, the entire philosophy of the organization needs to change because this like, Tampa Bay North situation, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And again,
Yeah.
I always hate the Rays thing. They're like, oh, the Rays, they built a good team. They haven't won shit. How many rings do they fucking have? I don't care that they went to
Yeah.
a World Series. Like, it doesn't matter. They didn't win.
It's also like not like we've built. I mean, the Rays still have a low payroll. It's not like we've built more efficient organization. We're sixth in payroll, I think, like
Yeah,
sixth or ninth. Like
we're
we're still
at a second.
200. We're over the second luxury tax. Like it's 260 some million dollars. It's just
Yes.
that like we're spending it wrong. Like just
Yeah.
completely like we're just spending it incorrectly.
Yeah,
That
I agree. And so that's kind of where it lies for me is like, I think Cora would be the first to go, which is a
yeah.
mistake. I actually think Cora is a fantastic manager. And as time has gone on, I loved him the first season, fucking hated him the second time the first season he came back because of all the cheating stuff. I was
Yeah.
like, this fucker. But he clearly knows baseball. I mean, he's a real lifer baseball guy, and I appreciate that. And I think he can play both sides of the numbers game, which is cool. But he's going to get the can, but that's a mistake. And I think what the worst thing that could happen is we go into a season where we bring in a new general management organization without Alex Cora because he's been kind of the constant throughout the last three.
Yeah.
Um,
But him
I think
being
be there.
here like 4-3 general like that's the anomaly. Like no other manager in baseball has been around for 3 GMs.
Yeah. And I honestly, again, it's an eye test, but it seems to be the years that we make the playoffs and do well. It's like despite the organization because of Alex Cora. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I certainly think 2021, his management decisions as far as bullpen management and got us very close to that World Series.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a long-winded answer, but I think he'll go first, and I think that's just such a fucking mistake.
Yeah. I don't know. And I also like I don't even know. Like I guess like there are more options to replace him than like who replaces Breslow. Like I don't know who would take that job. Um,
I
but
don't know who the big candidates for front office positions are. They typically show themselves. There's like who is the guy they interviewed? Was it Will Venable? Like they had a few dudes that they interviewed
they
that
interviewed
were
Sam Fold from the
Sam Fold.
Phillies.
That's what I'm thinking of. Sam Fold. Sam Fold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Um, uh,
I don't know much about what his philosophy is. I don't know, but
well, I mean, he worked under Dave for like however many years. So, but
yeah.
there was a great article from Jen McCaffrey like a month ago about like Breslow being kind of like close to the end of his Red Sox life cycle, as it were.
Yeah.
But that he and Chaim Bloom became very good friends because they both their sons play on the same little league team.
What?
Because Chaim never moved from left Boston,
Oh.
and so like he and Craig just ended up being like buddy, like just chatting about like work and stuff, and like I don't know if like Chaim's giving him like career advice or whatever, but like they got close like over the winter,
Huh.
or I guess over the summer, and then like into the off season, and that's like also kind of where our trades came from with St. Louis, which is
Hmm.
kind of funny.
That is bizarre.
I know, right? I can't
Actually,
imagine
bizarre that
sitting.
so does he must surely live in St. Louis now, but
Mm,
that's
yeah,
strange.
but like, dude, I can't
Yeah.
imagine like sitting next to like my direct predecessor.
Yeah. Like,
and just
hey
like
man, I got
talk
fired.
and work.
Yeah, I
I
don't know. The
fuck
other
that's
thing, the other elephant in the room that does need to be
mm,
addressed is like, I think this goes deeper than the general management, right? Like it's a Henry thing maybe. I think the sell the team chance, obviously fans have every right to be upset because the product we've been sold is not
yeah.
the product we're getting is not what we've been sold. But that being said, I think that there is like an entire well, I guess I want to know what you think. Do you think that there is any interest in doing what it takes to put a World Series winning ball club together, or do you think it's really like 95% profit and sustainability and that's it?
I think probably more profit and sustainability. I think
I
there will
do too.
never be a willingness to do what the Dodgers do, but there's a really great like video essay by June Lee and I think More Perfect Union that came out a few weeks ago
Oh, I saw
about
this.
like
I saw this. Yeah.
I think the presence of private equity in Fenway Sports Group is a large part of why things are the
Thanks.
way that they are, because
Yes.
private equity ruins everything. Um,
It wasn't this way before.
it wasn't this way literally until 2020.
Yeah, I know. All of a sudden, as soon as fucking COVID, it was like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Yeah,
it's like we don't care about winning.
we moved Mookie, and then like it all just kind of like went to shit. Um, but yeah, I don't know like how that I don't know how that piece changes. Like I don't it's like I think sell the team is like not ever gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
no, it's not. I'm fully aware of that.
yeah,
It's not even worth like dreaming about that because it's just not going to happen outright, you know?
yeah. I mean, I hopefully like yell chanting it enough at games is like enough to like make them be like, okay, I want them to like to make the ownership be like, yeah, I want them to stop yelling that shit. Can we just like please go win a World Series? Like, I don't
I know.
know if like that's persuasive enough, but
I think
yeah,
that's the thing though is like when I see the Dodgers cuz I got to go I think we texted about this.
yeah.
I got to go last week like very last minute and it's like you look at the Dodgers as an organization, there is no other option than winning the World Series. It's not even a fucking option. And they get to charge high ticket prices. They get to charge $11 for a fucking hot dog and $10 for a bottle of water because they're the fucking Dodgers, bro.
I
Like they
still think
get the
that like I still think that's fucked up. Like no matter how much you win, I'm like those prices are insane,
no,
and
they're absurd, of course. But if there's any team that gets to do it, it's the fucking Dodgers, you know? So it's like
they still drive
I
me nuts.
it's
Like
horrible. I bought a bottle of water. It was $9, like $8.99. Like, what for the little
I'm
smart
like
water? It's crazy. So,
yeah.
um,
I'm like, we get it. You guys are good. Like, is it? I don't know. I was thinking about this recently. I'm like, like, to me, like, I think we've talked about this before. Like, winning the World Series is always great.
yeah,
Every time it's happened in my lifetime, it's always been great. 2018 was by far the least great World Series to win for me.
yeah,
Even though we
yeah,
won 108 games, it was like it was so easy. We just
yeah.
bulldozed
You expect to
everybody.
win baseball from day one.
Yeah. And I was
Yeah,
like, you know what? To win a championship, I want it to be a struggle. Like I want to, like I really want to like fight to the death for it. Which is why like '04 and '07, I think even though I like love that team, like I think the Cleveland series is that piece. But like when we got to Colorado, it was just boom. Um, but like 13 and '04 in particular are like those were seasons that were like hard. They came after grueling like seasons before in different ways. But like those series, like really, those championships felt earned in a way. In a way, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
totally. It wasn't it that those teams weren't manufactured to just like 2018 was a little Dodgers esque, not
Yeah,
necessarily in the way that we did our finances, but just like it was a super team, dude.
yeah,
I saw like one of those Instagram reels. It was like MLB lineups that you probably forgot about. And it was like, bro, holy shit, those guys were
yeah,
fucking, they were all hitting like 270 plus. They all had 30 homers. Like, it was like
yeah.
Mookie, Devers, young Devers, Bogarts, like starting to hit his prime. Fucking JD Martinez. Who am I missing? Steve Pierce. What a fucking player, Steve Pierce. Like, you know,
Benintendi,
yeah,
Bradley.
yeah, Benintendi. Holy shit, outrageous team.
Yeah, Yeah, and
So
I think like it's like obviously fun as hell to watch that, and like I loved every second of it, but it also was like, man, I would love this to be a little bit harder. Like,
yes,
yeah.
yeah, I actually remember watching the first game of the World Series and thinking I'm pretty sure I was with Lisa.
Mm,
We were at a
yeah.
bar, and it was literally like, yeah, they're gonna win. I almost hope they lose a couple games just so it's a good series. Like I literally was like
Yeah.
not bothered. The Astros, I was a little bit bothered until they won the game. Bradley Jr. hit the grand slam. I was like, all right, series over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I agree with you. There's no like imprinted winning identity into this team. They're sort of like they're it's almost like it feels like we're expecting to just automatically waltz into the playoffs a little bit. And I don't
Yeah.
know if and I'm like, what gives you the right to think that?
Which is like also kind of funny because we like baseball fans, like we learn nothing in terms of like every single year for the last like 3 or 4 years it's been like, oh, the Dodgers are going to win 116 games, the Dodgers are going to like whatever, and every year, like last year, they like had to play the wild card game.
Yeah,
Like they only won 93 games, they like barely snuck it in. And I think like that is you know kind of funny because I'm like, I was like, I know that it's like on, like I'm watching them dominate, and I'm like, I know this is like, I'm like, this team is going to go to the World Series, but I'm
yes.
also like, I know that like every time I've thought that previously, like that hasn't always happened. I will say like
Mhm.
24 when they played the Yankees, I was like, I don't think ever, and I don't just say it because I hate the fucking Yankees, but like in my like bones, I was like, this Yankees team is not going to win the World Series. Like,
Interesting.
but
Okay.
then, but with the Blue Jays it was like, and obviously like that came true because it was like 7 games and it was like down to the wire where it's like the Dodgers might lose this.
Which is so funny. I have to tell you, it's so interesting because I think we talked about this during the World Series, but I never thought the Blue Jays were going to win. I was like, they have no fucking chance. Even in Game 7, even being down, I was with the dudes from my team, and one of my buddies was like drunk as fuck, and he's like, Miguel Rojas. He literally said this right before he hit the home run. He's like, he's gonna get a hanging slider. He's like drunk out of his mind. He's gonna put the swing of his life on it, and like next pitch he did. It's like no one ever felt stressed.
Yeah.
No one ever felt like it
I
wasn't
mean,
gonna happen.
the Dodgers were like literally like what, like 1 or 2 outs away from losing the World Series.
I think that there was literally one out in the ninth.
Yeah. Like so yeah, I don't know. Like in that, God, that World Series was so epic. It's like kind of crazy. But
Amazing.
I mean, in that respect, I'm like, I like that when the Dodgers get to the playoffs, it like I'm like, that's what I want. Is like if they're gonna get to the playoffs, I want the playoffs to be fucking brutal for them.
Yes.
Like at least make it, because a sweep is bad. Like a sweep is bad.
Yeah, I think like objectively it's kind of bad for baseball. Like nobody
Yeah,
really
no, I mean
do
yeah,
that.
but I do think like the Dodgers winning the World Series like 3 in a row, like whether or not like how you feel about the salary cap aside, like do you feel like the Dodgers winning still kind of is what's going to tip the like that whole fight over the edge?
Mm, in the sense of like it gives like an it like how so?
Like if the Dodgers, like say the Dodgers don't even make it to the World Series and like 2 teams with like smaller payrolls do and win, I think that really hurts the owner's salary
Yeah.
cap argument. But if the Dodgers win a third World Series in a row, I feel like that for owners are like, yep, that's a red line. We are not, this negotiation is not going anywhere until there's a salary cap. Like that, and that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, I think that you're probably correct.
I mean, as misplaced as that, like there's so many flaws with that argument
Of
that the
course.
Dodgers are responsible for that at all.
Yeah, of course. They
But
they
like,
I mean, frankly, the Dodgers have as you pointed out, a shady TV deal, but also
yeah,
like the Dodgers have benefited from players taking, these weird extended backloaded contracts,
yeah.
which obviously would be negotiated, I think, as well. If I'm not mistaken, that's something that um is that something that the owners do want to continue, and the players do not want to continue.
I don't know how they feel about that, but I do feel like the Dodgers are like like legally exploiting all of the loopholes in the system that exist, which
Yeah.
is like more power to them. I do think now that we all are aware of these loopholes, they need to close.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, that's sort of how I feel as well. I mean, I think probably yes is the answer to the question of like if the Dodgers win, does that give the owners more power? Like absolutely. They can all point and say,
Yeah.
look, see, like they have a never-ending wellspring of talent because they spend so much money, which again, it's a bit of a misplaced understanding of what's really going on with the Dodgers, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. I actually just genuinely I would say I genuinely think the Dodgers are not going to win it this year. I think that there's like it's really hard to just aside from the money stuff.
Mhm.
I think it's really hard for teams to win three in a row. I know it's been done before, but like that's really
Yeah.
hard to have the motivation to do that because it's like, what are you playing against at this point? What's your whiteboard, your bulletin board material? Like they don't want us to win three. You already won three out of the last fucking five. Like,
Yeah. I mean, like it is. I think it's the same thing, and I don't know if you saw this on like a previous episode of the pod where I like very quickly like ranted about Tariq Skubal choosing not to pitch again for Team USA because of
yes,
the
I do.
hypothetical. Like it's one of those things where I think this falls into that category where it's like, hey, I don't like your plate means nothing to me. Like I
Yeah,
can't like, oh, you want a third World Series? Like fucking I don't like who cares? Like that's an unattainable thing for like 99% of people. So like I don't know if you can get me like more realistic stakes that like I as a fan can empathize with, then like cool. But if it's like I just want a nice shiny a third shiny piece of jewelry, then like fuck off.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. It is going to be. I mean, I think the bigger, again, an elephant in the room that certainly needs to be addressed is like how damaging a lockout will be for baseball because
I mean,
baseball right now to me is they're saying it's like the second most viewed American sport right now.
yeah, it's eclipsing basketball, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I think I think a lockout is like I can tolerate a lockout until it starts eating into games. That's where it's going to be like that's where it's going to become unacceptable. And I do think
Oh
it'll
yeah.
be like last time where they got like right up to where it was starting going to affect games and then they figured it out. Like I don't think it would be so fucking like it'd be absurd for them to be for either side to be okay with losing games after what the game has done in the last like 3 years.
Yeah, it would be crazy, dude. And like, I mean, that just popped in because you brought up the World Baseball Classic. Like, we didn't even really get to talk about that. What a spectacle the World Baseball Classic has been. I mean, the World Baseball Classic, it's not on par with the World Cup, but I was in Europe and there were people wearing, I'm not kidding, Team Italy hats. We were in Portugal, but like Europe sort of embodied watching baseball on behalf of
Yeah.
Italy.
I was
I
like,
saw,
Team Italy didn't
like, what the fuck? That's crazy.
like Team Italy also didn't qualify for the World Cup this year, and I'm like, is that going to become a baseball country?
Dude, I was just talking to my friend about this. This is just a crazy because I'm Italian, and so I
Right.
cheer for the Italian teams.
The
Unfortunately,
Italian team was great this year.
they're awesome. I was all in. I watched every one of
Yeah.
their games. Unfortunately, FIFA is now because Iran is probably going to drop out of the World Cup,
Mhm.
because of all of the craziness.
Stuff.
Yeah, they're now saying they might give Italy a chance to qualify in their spot, which I think is horseshit. I'm an Italian fan. Would love to see Italy in the World Cup. That is bullshit. We don't deserve to be in the World Cup. So that's number one. So I think all Italian fans feel that way. There is a legitimate argument to be made at this point. Italy has not played in 3 World Cups. This is their 3rd World Cup they've missed.
Hmm.
I think it's the second best F1 driver is Italian. There's a gymnast that's supposed to be like the next Simone Biles. That's an Italian gymnast. The Italian baseball team is really, really good. There are kids in Italy that are no longer interested in watching the national team for soccer because they're like, what the fuck? They don't make it to any of the tournaments. So like, I'm going to watch
Yeah.
baseball instead. So on that point, it's like, this is a huge pivotal couple years for baseball. There's going to be another WBC in 29, right? It's every
I think
3
so.
years.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, that kind of stuff. I obviously love soccer too, but like that could be huge for growing the game internationally. If kids in Europe are like, yo, that was kind of sick. And like our
Yeah.
fucking team isn't in the World Cup, so I'm gonna watch that instead. Like they cannot lose games this year. It can't happen. I don't know what is it probably will happen, but
Yeah.
it can't happen.
I think it would be so terrible. Also, just because I'm thinking about FIFA now, like, dude, this World Cup is going to be a hot mess, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. It's
the
horrible.
ticket prices, the whole like ticket thing where they moved the map around or
It's
whatever.
a joke. It's a joke. And it's
New
like
Jersey Transit's like raised their prices from like $13 to 100 to get to MetLife.
no, and like FIFA's just a shitty, corrupt ass organization. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they're probably so stoked that Iran is not going to be in the
Yeah.
world. Like they're like, oh, thank God we can get Italy in there. It's like fuck you guys. Like
But
this is
like
a World Cup, dude.
it's
Like
gonna like fans who come from abroad and like I'm sure you can like you get this because like you were just abroad yourself, like in Europe. It it's a totally different like getting to the game, getting to and from a game is totally different here than it is there. Like
yeah,
nobody's driving to a game in Europe.
no, they're taking a train or when we were in Lisbon, man, there's like little trolleys and shit. It's so
Yeah.
easy to get around.
People are gonna be so pissed off. It's gonna be so difficult. Uh, and I just like I don't know. Maybe that'll be what gets this country public transit. We'll see.
Yeah,
Um,
but
but
anyway,
yeah,
just to bring it back to baseball,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I pivotal couple
Mm,
years here. I'm curious is based on like everything Red Sox, just to bring it
hmm
back to what we talked about. What is your current expectation? Again, not what you want to happen, but what you think will happen as far as where we will go this season.
I think.
Like
hmm,
if you were to use this as a microcosm for the whole season, you know.
I mean, I think that this team. Uh, I'm very afraid because I can see it happening. I'm very afraid that this team goes back to being 78 and 84.
I have to be honest, I'm in the same boat.
I'm like this feels too much like 2022 and 2023, and so
Yes.
help me God, if we go to from playoffs to last place, like something's got to change. But like
Well, I
that's right now,
actually say
that's what I'm most worried about because that feels very possible.
what I'm actually the most worried about, which is what I think will happen, is I think we'll win like 83 or 4 games.
Mhm.
Miss the playoffs by because what was Cincinnati last year? 83 and 79,
79, yeah.
79, 83 and 79. Quick maths. I think we could end up in that mold and miss the playoffs by a game because of the
Mhm.
way that the wild card. Like, oh man, and then they're gonna again sell us like, look how we were so close, guys. Like, trust us, this is gonna work, and then not make any changes. That to me is the worst possible outcome because if we win 73 games and we're fucking way out of it, somebody's getting fired. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna turn over.
Yeah.
My fear, and based on the way this team plays, what I think will happen is we'll win a competent amount of games, we'll be above 500 and miss the playoffs, and it'll be fucked up.
Yeah. I
That's
could
what
also
I think.
yeah, I could also see a situation, and it's happened in years past, where we are like on track to make the playoffs, and then
Yes,
we just like crash and burn in September.
yes, yes.
I feel like that's also very because this team is streaky. It's just like that's the thing. It's I'm like this team is streaky. It's just what matters is like what kind of streak they go on and when they go on it.
I just think the players, aside from Anthony, like the players that we are betting on are just like not like I don't think it's a surprise that like Story is not performing super well. I don't really think he's well past his prime. Like I think, it's cool he opted in. He's a team leader. That's great. But like we can't rely on him to do what he did last year. That was kind of an anomaly, I think. Like he's not gonna hit 25 homers. And maybe I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really like him a lot.
Mhm.
So I hope. But I think it's like you said it earlier. It's Anthony Abreu, Contreras. Those are the big bats, and Duran. I think Duran will have a good year. But like, where else is the run production going to come from? That's going to get us to that 90, 92, 93 win season. which even then, as I said earlier, I still don't think that's good enough.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I'm in the doldrums at the moment. I'm like, man, this is just. I was really hoping to explode out of the gates, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah. I don't think we've had a good start in a couple of years.
Years,
So
yeah, years.
yeah.
Anywho,
All
well,
right.
I think that's a good wrap
Yeah.
point. Is there any like Major League Baseball news that's like crazy? Like, are we missing anything?
I'm trying to think off the
Just
top of my head.
locked in the Red Sox. You know who's terrible?
Hmm.
Is the fucking Mariners and the Astros.
Yeah. Right now, like the beginning of the season has been so funky.
Hard.
Like it's so strange.
Yeah.
Um, but they'll
Yeah.
figure. Hey,
7-9. I mean, that's the other thing is like that. Actually, that's really the last thing I'll say is like we're 7-11. The Blue Jays are 7-9. Kansas City 7-10. They've got a great team. Seattle's 8-10. Houston 7-11. Like we're far from the worst team in the league. We'll figure it out. It's just like the Mets, I think, are
yeah.
7-11. Like you know, it's just I think we expected a lot more coming out of the gate, and we didn't get it.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So
That's a good place to leave it, man.
yes.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. Always happy
yeah.
to jump on again.
Always welcome.
Cool.
All right. Harry, thank you so much for being on the show. That was a ton of fun. If you're still here, awesome. Thank you. Be sure to stick around because up next, my conversation with Melissa Myer.
What a cool space.
Thanks. Oh, now I can see you. Yay. Great. This has been like a wild couple of minutes because I'm trying to figure out Zoom with you and my phone rings and it's Santa Monica. So I think it's you. And so I answer and it's this woman from the FBI who I was trying to reach yesterday at work calling me back.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God, this is like, I'm so glad you called me back, but this is the worst possible time. So it was a really, really fun 5 minutes.
I still have a New Jersey number anyway.
That would make, yeah, that makes sense.
Who's the third person in the Zoom?
Oh, so there are two USC devices that are like working in tandem in the studio. So like there's an iPad under the desk that is doing the Zoom, and then this system is hosting the Zoom. And then there's you.
Cool.
It sounds cool. I truly don't understand how I made it work just now. Like I'm kind of just like figuring it out as I go every single time.
I feel you. I wish I could come in person. It's so cool there. It's just hard to get over there, especially on a Friday.
Oh, it's yeah, no, I get it. Definitely welcome to come anytime, but yeah, it's a pain. I don't know. I just gotta live with it. I haven't been to Santa Monica in a couple of months. That is literally a twice a year, maybe once a year thing for me because of just like.
Oh my gosh, that's
like,
so crazy.
I'm like, it's such a drive. I'm like, I gotta really. I guess I think friends normally like to do birthdays on the beaches, so like that's always a good time.
Mm-hmm. You feel so far away.
I know it.
In the Zoom.
And in this like weird, blue cavern. But yeah. Anyway, shall we get into it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool. It'll all be. I think I tried to mix up some of the more just chill, fun questions with. I wouldn't say they're not hard questions, but you know what I mean. Anyway, Melissa, thanks so much.
As long as you know that I know a lot about the Dodgers and not that much about other teams.
I know. The first thing I want to ask, which I want to, as I do more interviews, I want to ask everybody is like, what is your earliest core baseball memory?
Before even watching any professional teams, I was watching my dad play. My dad was always on different teams growing up. He had a league with his company. He had a league with like the local bar in town. And so my sister and I, like, we have so many pictures of us just growing up, sitting at these games all the time. So that's my earliest memory.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
hadn't even like thought, because in for me it's all memories of like MLB stuff because no one in my family was playing. Um, Other than me, that didn't even occur to me as a possibility. That's so great. Um, I
And
guess
when we couldn't go, my dad would come into our rooms when he got home and told us how he did. And I started to learn like the lingo. I remember being like, did you hit a single or did you hit a double? Like, like starting to learn the words and understand the game a little. And he was always excited to tell us how he did.
oh, that's so great. Uh, I feel like that hearing that, I mean, that feels like that makes a lot of sense. Just knowing, I mean, knowing you, but also knowing like how you've kind of built Talk Dodgers to me in the last couple of years. Because you've
Mhm.
said before on the show, right? You're like you and your dad, like that is a very formative piece of like what inspired the show.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I love baseball from my dad, and he died when I was 16. And baseball really has always been my connection to him, when he was alive. And now that he's been gone, that's maintained. And we may not have rooted for the same team, but I think he would love that I found a team that I love as much as he loved the Phillies.
Yeah. I mean, so you guys both would have been pretty happy this weekend, given that the Dodgers swept the Mets. So, like, you both kind of
Yes,
won.
but I think you know that I have a whole family of
Yes.
Mets fans in New Jersey. So after that
Yeah.
third game, we talk in a group chat and we're always giving each other crap. I didn't even want to say anything because I didn't know what to say. I
Right. And
didn't
you
feel
don't
like
want to,
rubbing
like,
it in.
yeah, you don't want to kind of, yeah, you don't want to be a sore winner. That's funny. Out of curiosity, what do you, because I was watching, I think I was at like All Seasons or I was at a bar or something, and they had the game on, and the Dodgers were on the road, and they were wearing these new blue away jerseys.
I know, I love them.
It was,
They're adding that into their, jersey routine. I'm into it. I like these. They kind of remind me of their spring training blue jerseys.
mhm.
So I'm on board.
Yeah, I mean, they were nice. It was just like, it was so jarring because they're like one of the last, in my mind, they're like one of the last teams that really, other than like their city connects, like they're one of the last teams that is really just white and gray. And then I was like, okay, this is like seeing a dog on its hind legs or something. So I'm curious. I thought this was funny when I wrote it down. I don't know what you'll think, but what do you think is more likely to happen first? The Dodgers missing the playoffs or gas in Los Angeles being under $4?
Missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
No. Actually the opposite.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Yeah, they're both things that I could see never ever happening in my life. Uh One thing I always thought was really cool about, like, I guess when I, first cold emailed you a year ago, or a year and change, is that we both adopted our teams. We're neither of us are from the place where our team, is based out of. I'm curious, like, how have you ever felt like, have you ever felt imposter syndrome as a fan? And obviously, that has you still managed, to create Talk Dodgers to me, but I'm wondering if that something that you still kind of wrestle with every once in a while?
That's funny. That's a good question. I do not feel imposter syndrome at all. I feel very proud that, I booked a one-way flight to LA. I didn't know anybody, but I knew I loved baseball. So I started going to games and really falling in love with this team. And I didn't ever know anybody to kind of fall in love with a team like that. I come from a family of sports fans. My dad was one of 8, but and I wasn't even thinking of this at the time. All of the kids from like when they were born like different teams. My dad was like on the older side, so him and his older brothers all became Philly fans, which was what my grandparents were. But then like below them, the Mets were really good in the 80s. So my aunt and uncle are diehard Mets fans. And then my other aunt moved to San Francisco. So she raised her kids up there and they're all Giants fans. So we have fans all over the place. But because I kind of hide from my listeners that I was a Yankee fan at one point, but it's kind of like you grow up somewhere and that's who everybody likes. So you're kind of like just thrown in there. So when I really started to like come into my own and understand who I am and what I value and things like that, and I moved to LA, I really aligned with the Dodgers culture and all that they were doing behind the scenes. That's what makes me fall in love with the team. The people, their values, what they do when no one's watching. And so I feel really proud that I found a team that I really respect in so many ways. And now, obviously, they've become my life.
Right.
But I still occasionally get someone from back in New Jersey giving me crap about it.
Right. I mean, and they always will.
You?
I used to get some heat from friends who were actually from Boston or from fans at games about being a Sox fan. I haven't really anymore because sometimes I think I just end up knowing more about the team than they do, and that like ends up kind of protecting me a little bit. But I don't know. I think I've been a Red Sox fan. To me, I feel like I've been a fan long enough that I don't feel like anyone's questioned it in some time. But it's funny. The reason I was thinking about this is I was doing a focus group. I was participating in a focus group here at USC earlier today that turned out to be sports related. And one of the questions was like, what makes somebody a true fan? And there were a lot of different answers, and mine, which I think kind of to your point speaks to my values. I was like, you have to be with that team when they're great, but you also have to be there when they suck. And, not just bail when things get tough for that team, which I guess was like not the popular opinion, but go figure. But it was definitely an interesting conversation. I guess to that end, like, what do you think about that question? Like, is there such a thing as like, or something that makes someone a true fan?
I like what you just said, sticking with a team through the highs and lows. I will say that like when I brought Jacqueline on the podcast, because she's born and raised in LA and has been a Dodger fan her whole life, I really love that she brings that to the podcast and that like people can relate to me in some ways and may have been a transplant and started to love this team, but they also can relate to her of like being born and raised in LA and all the generational fans that have been created here. I mean, it's hard to say like stick with a team through the highs and lows because I've only known the Dodgers through the highs. When I moved here, it was when the Guggenheim Group took over.
Right.
We were asked this question recently, and I gave some answer, but in the comments, people were saying like, if you can name the managers, like going back like years and years and years, like I think everyone has a different story, but like, why can't anyone just be a fan of a team?
Yeah.
There's so many rules.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like why would I in this moment need to know who managed the team in like 1945? Necessarily.
I'm like, does that really, that's what's going to make someone be like, yep, you're a fan.
Yeah. You just like briefly touch on something that I think is really interesting, and I totally would have forgotten to ask it otherwise. Do you typically look at the comments section on like social media posts or other content that gets published involving Talk Dodgers to me? Like, I guess as someone who creates content like that, is that because I know that can be a really sticky thing depending on who you are.
Yeah, I mean, I do all of our social media. I'm the one, doing the podcast, uploading it, everything. So I see everything. And to be honest, yes, we've gotten some rude comments here and there, but it really is overwhelmingly positive. I feel so much love from this Dodger community and even like other people here and there. And maybe I have an ability to block out the bad and really focus on the good. But I read it all, and even the bad ones don't bother me, because if you're taking the time to like leave a mean comment on purpose, I think that says more about the person than anything else. And so I've really learned in like my own personal development how to not take everything personally, I guess.
Yeah, that's a
But also like when you really believe in what you're doing, you just keep going and nothing else matters. And when you know it's all coming from a place of like heart and it's all genuine, what's there to hate?
man, that's a really awesome way to look at it. And honestly, like, God, so well adjusted. That's very cool. I don't think have gotten
One comment that I'm thinking of right now is, you know, typical comments like, get back in the kitchen, ladies, you know, things like that. It's like, what year are we in? And really that's the best you got?
I know that feels kind of lazy. Like I don't. That sucks. Yeah. Uh, on a positive side of like of interacting with people who listen and watch your show, I hosted a ton of watch parties during the postseason last year, which were, I mean, as someone who was there, like they were a ton of fun to go to. Uh, what what was seeing that turn out like, and do you have more events planned? Like, do you want to do more in-person stuff with Talk Dodgers to Me listeners?
Absolutely. Yes. Well, one, thank you, Bennett, for coming to all of our watch parties. It was so nice to have you there and just kind of be a support for us, and also be a, you know, you were team Dodgers for all those games. And I really appreciated that. So thank you for that. But yes, that was such a crazy time. You know, I've never felt such uh burnout than after the postseason, where like after that whole year, I felt like I couldn't even enjoy the win, to be honest. So I guess now I can reflect back and think about it more positively, because I've like am going into this season knowing that I need to take better care of myself so I don't get in that burnout again. But that's what made it all worth it. Seeing the people show up for us who love the podcast, who shared, you know, their words of encouragement and how they've been listening from the beginning and things like that. For me, that's everything, and that's what keeps me going. And I talk to our, you know, listeners and followers all the time on social media, but to see people in person who really love what I'm doing and what I've built, sometimes I'm like, I can't believe all these people are loving this thing that just like came from my head. Like, what a cool thing. And for them to show up for you, like walking to my car all those times, I was mostly in tears, just feeling in an overwhelming amount of love. And for this year, I want to bring the community together more than ever. So we are planning a lot of different things, watch parties, and just ways to get people together. You know, we just are doing a partnership with Arena Club, which is the world of like card collecting. And
Oh, cool.
Jacqueline and I are becoming obsessed very quickly. So things like that we can do together. Like we have a baseball version of those like Taylor Swift friendship bracelets. So we're going to do a bracelet making party. I don't know if you're going to want to come to that one, but
I would
yes,
like.
we're going to be doing a lot.
I personally like. I love to fidget with things. I can't sit still to stand my life. So maybe honestly, a bracelet might be fun for that.
Well, you're welcome to come to any of these things we host, of course.
It's funny, as a Sox fan, like our season has been so miserable up to this point, and just frustrating. And Harry and I have been constantly talking and just being real grumpy about it, because it has really sucked. And it's like, I'll then like go out into the world or look at my phone and it'll be like, the Dodgers just, they have sunshine and rainbows flying out of their butts. They're having such a good time. And I'm like, can somebody please do something wrong? Like just like one thing. To like, let me know you guys are like, you know, normal. And it's like it's a very weird experience as a fan, who like I like what the Dodgers are doing, but I'm like I honestly I think it's jealousy at this point. Like you can call that emotion like envy or jealousy or whatever.
Can you
But
give me like a little recap of how the Red Sox are doing
so the Red
so
Sox,
far this season?
they're 7-11, which is a losing record, but it's like I just think that's funny because of the brand. They started the season 2-8, which was their worst start since
Wow.
1945. They have been a hot mess. Their roster is ridiculously clogged and poorly constructed. Garrett Crochet imploded the other day and gave up 11 runs in less than 2 innings. So
Wow.
we're fragile. Yeah. But
Are there a lot of injuries right now?
no. Not a ton.
Okay.
Not ones that we didn't have already in spring training. But yeah, it's like it is one of those moments where I'm like, okay, this will end, like it's like we're just gonna have to suffer through it because at a certain point this will be something you can like look back on and will be like a formative part of whatever good thing happens next. But
Mhm.
oh boy, is it hard to like remember that sometimes because it's rough. But
I'm
yeah,
sure.
it's also Jaron Duran flipped off a fan, which was
Yes, but I'm glad he did.
yeah, I am too. I'm like I feel
That
bad for
fan
the
deserved
guy.
way more than getting flipped off by him. And I hope, actually, that's a good question. He didn't get in trouble for that, right?
I guess the
Jared
Twins.
Duran?
No, Jaron Duran didn't get in trouble. And the Red Sox
Good.
were like, we back this 100%. And my issue is not with what Jaron Duran did because I also am like, guys, do we? I don't put a lot of stock in like the middle finger, but it's like in the context of what happened, it's like, yeah, dude, this is of course like that's his reaction. That'd be my reaction to be your reaction. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know what fans because this is not the first time this has happened. I don't know how like certain fans get it into their head that like it's okay to say stuff like that to players.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's really disgusting. And like what I was saying about the comment section, that is someone's personal insecurities or, negativity about themselves that they could even project that onto someone. It's so disgusting, and that fan should never be allowed at a baseball game again. What Jared Duran did in being vulnerable and opening up about what he's gone through is so courageous, and I'm sure is helping so many people, like a pro athlete who kids admire, to admit things and to be vulnerable like that. I give him so much credit. And for him to have to deal with that is just I hate it. I think it's so gross.
Yeah. I also think like in a weird way, it's his reaction this time demonstrated growth on his end because, this happened last year too. And when it happened last year, he like he wanted to like charge into the stands and like confront the fan and like had to be kind of held back. And this time it's just, he's just as he's running by, just middle finger. And I'm like, I think like in a weird way, I'm like, oh, you've like that. I think in a weird way that does speak to his own like growth on this
Growth.
journey where it's like, I'm going to acknowledge that you suck, but like, I'm not going to let it, I'm not going to let it fully pull me out of this moment. Like it has in the past. And I think that's really cool. I think that's great for him. Cause I want him to be like, I want him to, stay in a better place. Cause and it was, really, I think moving and, special for him, for any like pro athlete to talk about mental health like that. And like in that detail, it was very, I don't want to say cool. That feels almost like the wrong word, but it was like, it was welcome,
Brave. It's really brave to do that, to have all those eyes on you, and still like be willing to talk about the uncomfortable things. Like, I think we need more of that in this world. For a kid to watch that, if they're having feelings, similar to him, and not feel alone and be like, wow, a professional baseball player could feel this too. I think we need more of those stories and people willing to share so that other people don't feel alone,
Mhm. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think that kind of, honestly, that makes me think of this next question, which was through each step in the process of making Talk Dodgers to me and just being out there and being with fans, do you find yourself leading with your head or your heart? And for you, which one is easier to listen to?
Oh, my heart. I lead with my heart for everything. And that's me. And I love that about me. But, since starting the podcast, I mean, I'm sure you can relate to this a bit. Anytime like you're starting an entrepreneurial journey, it is going to test you and show you everything you need to learn, all the areas you need to grow, what you need to shed. So, these last 2 years have been a fast track of learning and growth for me in so many ways, and an up and down roller coaster, and I know a lot of the behind the scenes, but um, when I meet fans, it's definitely all love.
Yeah, that's
Do you mean
great.
like being open to meeting them?
No, I just meant
Like
like
talking to them?
no, I meant mostly just you know, I think in building, the identity of Talk Dodgers to me, and I guess in a way building like your identity for yourself, like relative to that. I think
Mhm.
because there are times for me where I'm
Okay.
thinking about this stuff and I'm, you know, really like I'm in my head about it. I'm like, how do I grow my following by this amount in this amount of time? And like, you know, um, how do I make, content, an episode that is like, more broadly appealing in this way or in that way to certain people. And then there are moments where it's like, it's just, where in my gut, it's like dude, just make fun content about you loving baseball. Like that's all you want to be doing anyway. Um,
Yeah.
and like,
I don't think about the numbers. I really don't focus on that. Um, Everything for me, like I'm a fan. I'm a Dodger fan. So I'm creating a whole brand for Dodger fans who are like me. So I feel like if I just keep going and staying consistent and staying true to myself, that's what's going to come across. And like, that's the stuff that I like to see. So everything for me comes from my heart. Baseball to me is family. And that's what it is for so many other people. And that's the brand I'm building. It's a more than baseball theme. It's a conversational, not analytical. And, um, there are definitely times that I have to put on my businesswoman hat, and if something's not working, then change it and look for those types of things. Um, and even like people watching me step into that role has been tricky. And me really owning it and not, just kind
Mhm,
of stepping to a new version of me, and feeling proud of that. But it all just comes back to, it's all more than baseball, and it's bringing people together in a time where sports is really one of the only things that is uniting people.
yeah. If if you were, if you were throwing the first pitch out at Dodger Stadium, one day, like the Dodgers
One
invited,
one day.
uh, which Dodger is catching for you?
Oh my gosh, that's so hard. That's like asking who my favorite player is. I can't choose one. I love them all. But I will say right now, and you know what, you might like my answer. I love Mookie Betts.
Mm,
He's my fave at the moment. If I were to get a jersey, it's his. I love his growth mindset. I love watching him and learning from him. So I would ask him.
I do like that answer. I hope he, 'cause I know he's on the IL currently. I hope he, bounces back sooner rather than later because I never like to see him hurt. Um,
I know, too.
so in addition to to both being baseball people, we both have spent some degree of time in the film industry. Uh,
Mhm.
and I was curious because for me, I know obviously my answer for this, but um, how big a factor was your love of storytelling in building Talk Dodgers to me? If a love of storytelling is there, obviously it might not be, but how does
Oh,
storytelling play a role?
100%. I think that's kind of everything. And I've always loved that before I was working at the film and TV production company that I did. For me, growing up, with a dad who was an addict, there was so much that was out of my control and I didn't understand. So listening to other people like share their stories or escaping into something really great was like all I had for so long. And that's also like what made me feel not alone. Like when I would listen to someone else share their story or be inspired by something like that inspires me. So that definitely is what I want to do for people. I love shining a light on people who don't normally get a light shine on them because, well, one, like you never know what people are going through. And it's just like a beautiful thing to give people that opportunity and like the relatability factor. So that's so much a part of Talk Dodgers to me, and constantly thinking about those kind of inspiring stories to tell and the why behind certain things, even with like the partnerships I'm doing. I want to interview the companies to find out why did the CEO want to have a card collecting company? Kind of learning those stories. I feel like we're moving into an era where we're really valuing authenticity.
Hmm.
So, like the purpose behind things, it really draws me in. And I feel, like that with a lot of people too.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think it's something that we talk a lot about um, on like the PR side of things is how valuable authenticity is. I mean, generally, but in right now in the world of business and in communication, which I think is, I mean, it's a good thing. I'm like, of all the qualities to you know uh, kind of be trendy, I think authenticity is a great one. Uh,
I know, I
but
love it.
yeah, it's so I can't complain about that. But I also think that's really cool to I think to ask those kinds of questions of brands that you might be working with beyond just like why are you interested in me, but like why are you interested in you? That's I think a really fun way to think about things. Uh,
Yeah, I'm also never going to align myself with a company unless I believe in them and unless I actually like the product or whatever we're doing. So that kind of just brings another light to that as well. I'll never just take a paycheck, and like I'm always gonna need to know and understand and really align with them.
yeah. So between being a production coordinator, a life coach, a baker. You've worn a lot of hats, first of all. But between those three, how did each role help you develop Talk Dodgers to me?
Hmm. Well, I mean, I had been wanting to start a podcast. I It had been on my mind for years. And I guess like when I booked a one-way flight and moved to LA, I felt a fire in me to figure out my purpose. I felt like there was something I was meant to do and meant to find. And I've really been following that fire in me ever since and understanding where my passions are. I think my biggest dream was to do what I love for a living. And I'm chasing happiness. I never saw myself sitting at a desk at a 9 to 5 job. That's actually my last job before I moved to LA. I was working at a headhunting company, just like right out of college, a job from like a family friend. And I'm sitting at this job as like the receptionist, and everyone would come and talk to me. That's always kind of who I've been through all my jobs. And they would just be like waiting for the clock to turn 5 o'clock.
Mhm.
And I just didn't get it. Like they did that every day. And none of them were happy. It was like you just clock in, clock out, wait for the weekend, and then you do it all over again. Like I didn't understand why they wouldn't just do something they loved. Obviously, that was like 19, 20-year-old me. And there are, there's a lot that you have jobs for. It's not
Yeah.
all, dreamer minds. But I still do think you can find work that is fulfilling and creates happiness. And there was a moment where I was at that job and I just walked into my boss's office and I was like, I'm quitting. She's like, what are you doing? And I went home and booked a one-way flight to LA. And I'm like, I'm moving to LA. But like that kind of started that of just diving into my passions and trying to figure out. And through all those jobs that you mentioned, that was me diving in at the time. And I'm an all in or all out person. And if something's not working, then I'm going to change and figure something else out. So it all kind of, the trust the journey quote, like that corny quote you hear a lot, like I really feel that now. And I remember people saying it to me over the years as I'm trying this and trying that and kind of moving from this and the other. I was always following my heart, staying true to myself and doing what I thought was right at the time. And the reaction from other people of like feeling like I'm doing a million things, it did get to me, but like I just believed in myself and this purpose that I felt so badly, that every one of those jobs helped me in what I'm doing. Working at a restaurant helped me understand people and how to deal with people and showed me how good I am with people and how I love to make people feel special. And that's when like people started saying to me, wow, you ask really good questions. And it's like sometimes you don't know what's special about you because it's you, it's just natural. So unless someone's pointing it out to you, like I remember that moment like, oh, I do. But and then like for the cookie business, I called it more than cookies. And that was like my mom and I making cookies together. My podcast now is a more than baseball theme. So it really does all tie together. Working at the film and TV production company, I saw my boss, Frank Marshall, have so much fun with his work and was at the top of his game. And it's like, that does exist. You can create the job of your dreams and have a really fulfilling, happy life. And it was just so inspiring to me. And that's where I ended up doing the first season of the podcast. So it really all did lead to each other. But now, like looking back, the people I met, the things I learned from each one has helped me in what I'm doing now in so many different ways. I mean, I gift cookies to the guests that come on the podcast. It all has tied back in.
That's awesome. I mean, all of that, the whole answer was awesome, but the cookies for guests, that's very cool. I am running out of time in the studio, but I have time for just like one more question, and it is going to be a fun one, because I thought it was, again, funny when I wrote it. Hypothetically, let's say that you start dating two people. You find out that one of them is a diehard Padres fan, and the other one hates baseball.
Oh boy. Wow. So I have to choose one of those?
You can choose to date neither of them. I mean, you're a free person.
How much do they hate baseball? Because I did just date someone who not like hated baseball, but just like wasn't into it. But he really appreciated how much I loved it and like loved hearing me talk about it. So that was cool. I was fine with that.
Let's say that this
I don't know. The Padres?
Yeah.
I don't think I could do that. I'd rather date a Giants fan, actually.
I dated a Yankees fan like very briefly, and we didn't know that we were on opposite sides, because the person who had set us up thought we were both Yankees fans, and so I called him and I was like, "Hey man, why would you tell her this? And he's like, because I don't care like about baseball enough to remember what team you like. But yeah, I think that, that's, I don't know. It's a case by case thing, I feel like, for me, but I don't know.
That's funny. I mean, I feel like
hating baseball would be a bigger deal for me.
Padres fan would be really hard, especially right now. We have like this heated rivalry with the Padres, so there's no chance.
You know what? Fair enough. Melissa, thank you so much. Do you real quick want to tell people where you can find Talk Dodgers to me?
Absolutely. So you can find Talk Dodgers to Me anywhere you get podcasts, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. We are Talk Dodgers to Me on Instagram and on TikTok. And we'll be hosting a lot of fun events this season. So stay tuned. We'll be posting all about it on Instagram. And we hope to see you there too, Bennett.
Yeah, you probably will. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll keep you in the loop. Thank you so much for having me on. This was fun. Always fun talking baseball with you.
Oh my God, yeah.
I hope your Red Sox turn it around a bit.
Me too, man. I need a miracle. That's been our show. It's been a ton of fun. Melissa, Harry, both great hangs. As always, guys, like I said earlier, like and subscribe, Instagram, Substack, Patreon, Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcast, and YouTube. Yeah, and as always, see you in a couple weeks. Have a good night. Or day. Whatever.